Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. We are out here almost at 9K, feeling good, feeling amazing. I appreciate every last one of you guys. And a few of you guys are like, where's Izzy at? Where's Izzy at? What do you mean? She's right here. She's not going to be in every video, guys. You know, she needs a day off every once in a while. But yeah, just so you guys know. Now we're moving straight on into Alexis Avila. Now, we spoke with the boyfriend. The boyfriend gave his piece, you know, Mr. Innocent, Mr. I didn't know she was going to do something like that, you know, Mr. Snitch. He snitches on her, everything, tells all. Not that it was a wrong thing to do. But we're moving on now to the officer who responded on the scene and basically just gives us a breakdown of the state of the baby. Now, see, the dumpster diver said that the baby looked pretty good, but now the officer is going to tell us something a bit otherwise. Now, let's get straight into this thing.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of...
So help you God. What happened to that? Did they remove that from court? Now he's saying under penalty of law. Now you guys probably know this one, so hit me up with that. You know what I mean? The tell the truth and nothing but the truth, blah blah. So help you God. They don't do that anymore. Like, what's going on with, like, we have God still on our dollar bills, so it's like y'all gotta figure this shit out. Like, what's going on here?
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of law?
Yeah, y'all tell me about that under penalty of law change up that they put. Is that the same for every court system, or is that just their weird ass court system? Anyway, yo, New Mexico is an interesting place, man. I'll tell you what. They got some interesting young ladies out of New Mexico. If you ever get yourself a wife out of New Mexico, do your homework. Do your research on her.
Good morning. Please state your name for the jury.
Officer Jennifer Maxwell,
Where are you employed?
Hobbs Police Department,
And how long have you been employed with the Hobbs Police Department?
since 2016.
And what is your current position with the Hobbs Police Department?
I'm a patrol officer.
And are you a certified and commissioned law enforcement officer in the state of New Mexico?
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, she's a patrol officer, so I'd say she's certified or she's breaking the law. But hey, you know, let's go. Badass detective lady. That's what I'm talking about. The strong woman out here in these streets.
And how long have you been a commissioned officer?
Since 2019.
Now, tell the jury, were you on duty or working on January 7th of 2022?
Yes, ma'am.
What time of day shift were you working on that day?
It was night shift. It was after 7.
And did you have an...
And she's the female cop working on the night shift. Salute to her. She better have backup, though. Shit. I think cops travel in pairs, though. Unless you're, like, investigator level.
area or an assignment for that evening?
I didn't. I was filling in that night, so I was just roving, so I was assigned to everywhere.
And did it come about that you went to the area of the Broadmoor Mall due to some type of call?
Yes, ma'am.
How did that come about?
It was a medical call that dispatch gave out over the radio.
Now, do you recall what time of the evening it was that you went out on that call?
It was after 7, but before 8 o'clock. I don't know the exact time.
So she was fresh on that shift, and she got one hell of a... You know, that's the one thing about cops. You get a crazy-ass case, and all of a sudden, you have a shitload of paperwork thrown at you. You have to go to court. You have to do this and that. So some police officers, depending on who they are, they don't want all the drama. They prefer stay on the stuff that keeps you away from the paperwork and the court dates and all that shit. Because just like us in our regular lives, we hate going to court. You think they want to be in court, really? Like, you know what I mean? They're not trying to really go to court. So, yeah.
Now, when you responded, was this a respond with like lights and sirens, or how did you respond?
Yes, we were told it was a life-threatening matter, so anytime there's life at risk, we run with our lights and sirens.
How far away, if you recall, were you when you were notified to go to the Broadmoor Mall?
I was several blocks away. I would probably say 3 or 4 miles away, and I made it there pretty quick.
Was any other officer already there when you got there?
Yes.
What was occurring? What were you seeing as you arrived?
When I got there, the officers were standing by a truck, and so I ran over to where they were, and then that's when I made contact with April.
And who was April that you're referring to?
She was the female that was sitting in the truck and holding the baby.
Describe what.
It's funny how naturally women are given the baby, or women are drawn to the baby. It's I think it's just that maternal instinct, man. You know what I mean? It's just like, yep, baby, I'll take care of this. Men, y'all go find some other shit to do. Like, yeah, but man, God bless the dumpster divers, man, because if it was not for them, it's the craziest thing to think about. If it wasn't for them, bro, like, think about that shit. If they didn't call the police, right? Avila threw that baby in there and the dump truck came, tossed the shit up in there. Baby probably already, you know, tossed all the garbage in there, go to the dump site, throw that shit up in there. That baby would probably have never been found. The only way she would have been caught was through those people because, the camera caught her, but the camera doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. And even more so, nobody's reviewing the camera unless there's an incident like this. Literally, the dumpster divers sent Avila to jail. She could have been walking around this world with a whole, baby that she took off this, you know what I mean? A whole baby she took off the earth. And nobody would have known about it.
You were seeing as you saw this female inside of the truck.
So she had on like a hoodie or something, like a jacket, and it was like a wet towel, and the baby was inside her jacket, wrapped in a wet towel sitting on her chest. I asked her if it was her baby, she said no, and then I took the baby from her.
Now, as you took the baby from her, describe how did that towel feel?
So that night it was probably about 40 degrees or lower, and that towel was wet, and the towel even felt, if you put like a wet towel in the freezer, that's what it felt like.
Damn.
It was super cold.
As you took the baby, tell us what you could observe about the baby.
I could tell he was breathing. I could tell it was a boy. He had dried blood on him, and you could see that his umbilical cord had been cut. He wasn't moving. He didn't open his eyes. He was like, even when you rub a baby's hand or their palm and they grasp your, he didn't do any of that. He wasn't hardly breathing at all and wouldn't move at all.
Damn, he was on the brink, man. See, this is what I'm saying, though. They said, yeah, he looks pretty good, but, they're not medical professionals, and she's not one either, but, she's a cop. She's seen some shit, and she saw that. The baby's not even grabbing onto the finger. The baby's eyes didn't open, critical moments right here. So it's like, the type of shit where you're like, okay, who did this? We need to figure out who the fuck did this right now. She was never going to get away with it after this.
What did you do as you take this baby, you got him, where are you going, what are you doing?
So the ambulance hadn't got there yet, so I took him to my unit, and I didn't have a jacket or blanket or anything. All I had was one of those neck gaiter things that keeps your neck warm. So I took the wet towel off of him, and I put his little body in that little neck gaiter thing, and then I just held him in my unit because I had already had the heater going because it was freezing. So I just kind of held him in there and just kind of rubbed him a little to maybe get some circulation going until the ambulance got there.
Now, what if anything happened with that towel that had been on the baby?
I'm pretty sure it got logged into evidence.
But I mean, like when you took it off, was it like laying in your unit?
Oh, yeah.
It's a bad question on my part.
Yeah, just thrown to the...
And as you removed that towel, were you able to see the baby a little clearer, more fully?
Yes, I could tell that he was a boy. He had a little bruise or a cut.
I like how she keeps saying, I could tell he was a boy. All I keep saying is like, yeah, I saw his balls. And yeah, he was a boy. And, he was unharmed. But man, like, damn, bro. It's like, Yeah. Who does that? Like, just a helpless ass baby. Whoop! Into the trash. Like, bitch, like.
On his forehead, and again, I mean, he was very cold, and like he was still covered in blood, like dried blood, so you could tell he was kind of blue and kind of red from the blood, and he just had, like, his skin didn't look right at all. Like, his skin was, I guess it was not freezer, not, what is it, frostbite, maybe?
Like his skin was frostbitten.
It looked like he needed some medical help.
Now, how long, if you know, were you with the baby now in that net gator inside your unit before any EMS arrived to further assist?
I would say it had to have been maybe 2-3 minutes tops. And as soon as they pulled up, I took the baby and I went straight to the ambulance. They opened the door and I just handed him off.
And so it's not like the ambulance staff came to your door to you or anything like that?
No, I took him over there to them.
Now, once you handed the baby to the ambulance staff, did you like have, was this like a conversation about what you saw or anything?
No, we put him in and I shut the door and I told them that I would escort them to the hospital with lights and sirens, which is, we call it code 3. They ran with lights and sirens and I cleared all the intersections. That way they didn't have to stop at all to get him to the hospital.
Now,
Nice.
once the ambulance was at the hospital, what did you do?
I stayed there with the baby because we didn't have anybody else there with him, and so
That maternal instinct, I'm telling you, man, women got it. Yeah. Nah, I'm sorry. A man would do it too, shit. Maybe not, but I was pretty sure she was going to stay with him just because, you found him, you're attached to him now. It's like, damn, I got to see it through. I got to make sure little buddy makes it, And thank God little buddy made it, bro. Like, sadly, Treviso's baby didn't make it, but this one, fuck yeah, he made it.
So until CYFD showed up, which I called on the way to the hospital, I called for a CYFD worker to meet me at the hospital. And so I stayed there with the baby because he's basically in my custody until we find placement for him.
And when you got to the hospital, where did you go? I mean, physically, like, where are you at?
We went to Lee Regional Hospital into the emergency room on the ambulance entrance. And when we pulled up, there was a whole medical crew standing there. I
Nice.
remember I'm pretty sure they just carried him out. I don't think they had him on a gurney. I don't know. I don't recall any of that. But as soon as they got him into the hospital, they put him straight to a trauma room.
Nice. And that's what he needed. He needed that circulation, man. When I tell you his eyes didn't open, he didn't whimper, his hands didn't close up on your fingers, he in trouble, and 40 degrees, that is a trooper. You know what I mean? Like when he comes out and he's older and shit, I'm gonna be like, yo, you were a trooper. You refused to die. You know what I mean? Tell him that story. That'll blow his mind.
Did you follow to the trauma room?
Yes.
What did you observe occurring inside that trauma room?
So they took him because the medics, I think, had wrapped him in a blanket. So they took him out and they started assessing him. They started trying to get like vital signs. They tried to start an IV. And at one point they did start an IV. And even when they were poking his little skin, he didn't even budge, move, nothing. I'm sorry.
Damn.
They were telling, I was so right there in the way that a couple times they had to tell me to get out of the way.
Objection, hearsay.
About telling her to get out of the way?
I wasn't sure where she was going with that, but she didn't proceed.
Overruled.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, that lawyer over there sucks. Avila, get another lawyer. Oh wait, it's too late. You're in jail already? Oh yeah. Oh wait, you got 16 years already? Shit, I forgot.
So as they were assessing the baby, I was just paying attention. I did ask the doctor how the baby was or whatever, and then he told me all that stuff.
Sustained.
And I just need you to tell us what you observed, not what someone else said.
Right.
Hearsay, man. Hearsay. We got Mrs. Hearsay over there in the corner trying everything for her client. She's like, yo, this is my second case ever. I'm going to try my very best to get her those 5 years that I promised her. You know what's crazy is because Avila looked shocked when she got sentenced. We're gonna do that video later on, but she looked shocked. She kind of looked over to her lawyer like, "What the fuck? That much time?" Like, I'm sure the lawyer was like, "Don't worry, you'll be out by the time you're 25. You'll be okay. I'm gonna try to get you 5 years, at most 7. Nah, double it, give it to the next person. That's 14. Nah, you add 2 more on top of the double shit, and don't give it to the next person. Give it to Miss Avila. Man, they threw the book at her. Man, they threw the book at her. And I think it all has something to do with her representation. If she had stronger representation, I think they could have probably gone somewhere else with this. But, you know, she had what she had.
As you're observing the baby there while they're treating him, you said there's nurses, doctors, they're starting IV. What else do you see going on with the baby at that time?
They were trying to get a body temperature of him with a digital thermometer, and they weren't. His temperature was so low it wouldn't even register on the thermometer. You know, they tried under his arm and even in getting a rectal temperature, and they couldn't. It wouldn't even register.
Damn.
Now,
Imagine how cold you have to be. That's damn near like hypothermia. Imagine how cold you have to be for your temperature not even to read on a digital thermometer, the more sensitive ones. That, yeah. I think this is why they really threw the book at her, because he was good as dead, you know? If somebody didn't find him, he was good as dead. So they treated it like that.
we're in the trauma room. How long do you think you were in the trauma room at Lee Regional Hospital with this baby?
I was there for probably 45 minutes to an hour until CYFD got there. When CYFD got there, I had to leave to go respond to other calls, and then I got called back to the hospital. And then I stayed there probably another hour until the flight crew got there.
Now, you said you were called back to the hospital. Were you called back related to this baby, or you called back for some other matter you were working?
Related to the baby.
So why were you called back related to the baby? I mean, you'd left, CYD's there.
One of the nurses that worked there wanted to tell me something, and she didn't want me to tell me over the phone.
So you came back to maybe get some information, and I don't
Yes.
want you to say what somebody
Right.
said, but it was part of the investigation.
Yes.
Okay. So after you talked to that person, you said you stayed.
Yes.
And what was going to occur with the baby next that made you stay at the hospital?
They were going to fly him to Lubbock for a more advanced care.
And did you assist in any way with the baby getting moved from the Lee Regional Hospital on with that flight crew?
Yeah, so when the flight crew got there, they needed to rewrap him and secure him into their little incubator thing that they secure them into to fly him out. And so they asked me to pick him up so they could get the blankets under him.
And so you did that?
Yes.
Think about all the tax dollars that she caused on the city. This is not just justice for the baby. This is justice for the tax dollars, man. All them people in New Mexico didn't spend them taxes so that helicopters could get flown and incubators can get used to save babies' lives that don't need saving. Like, the baby was healthy, was born healthy, and then she, took him back a few steps. So that's that shit where they're like, bro, you wasted the city's money. You wasted the hospital's time. Like, well, she didn't waste the time, but it was unneeded. He didn't have to go if she didn't do that shit. So yeah, I understand why they threw the book at her. She sucks.
And then once the flight crew had the baby secured and they left, did that end your involvement that evening?
Yes, it did.
Now, while you were in the trauma room initially, let's go back. So while you were in the trauma room initially with this baby boy, did you observe them trying to ever kind of remove some of that dry blood, clean the baby to better be able to see the baby?
Yes, I even tried to help. We had baby wipes that we were trying to wipe his, at least get his hands clean. But every time we would like wipe him with the wipey, and they weren't freezing cold, but they weren't like probably room temperature. But every time that we would try to do that, it would bring his body temperature down. So they just stopped trying to clean him up until his body temperature could stay up.
Damn. It's crazy how fragile your body temperature is at that age. But I guess you're so small as a whole. Anything that touches you, your shit's gonna plummet. And you've been in 40-degree weather inside of a wet ass blanket.
Now, you mentioned that they started an IV. Did you see them start anything else related to his care?
Not that I recall.
Now, you talked about the seeing the umbilical cord. Had you had any training or experience prior to the night of January 7th of 2022 with like someone giving childbirth, having to aid with that, aiding with, taking the baby, maybe cutting the umbilical cord? Had you had any of that kind of experience?
Well, I've had 3 kids and I've been present during the birth of some other children, but not professionally training, no professional training or anything like that.
Did you observe anything about?
Hey, I'm sorry. 3 kids is professional training. Don't worry about it. Like at that point, you know where to cut on the umbilical cord probably. You know how long that shit's gonna take to pop off the baby. Like, 3 kids, she's done some things. She's blessed the world with 3 more human beings. I appreciate it.
That umbilical cord that concerns you with how it was at the time you had the baby.
Yes, because it wasn't like a clean cut, and normally when you have a baby, they cut the umbilical cord and put that little plastic thing around it to secure it, and it's really short, and his was still pretty long.
All right, so yeah, that's pretty much where I'm gonna cut it there. But it shows just the savagery of Alexis Avila and that whole little, oh, I panicked. That shit stays in my head rent free. Oh, I just panicked. I just turned 18, so I'm stupid. I'm a stupid little shit. Yeah, you are stupid, but not in that way. You know what I mean? She did all of this to avoid, letting her mom know she was pregnant. Like, your mom knows you're having sex. Trust me. They know when you start having sex. Something changes. They know you're out here doing your thing. So, like, man up. You did it. You had the baby. But nah, she wants to go do all this James Bond shit thinking she's going to get away with it. Anyways, y'all, that was Alexis Avila. The police officer just, slam dunking on her head. Just bam. Time after time. Just making her look worse and worse. But anyway, y'all. I'll see you in the next one, man. Stay inside. Stay safe. I love my Patreons. I love my subscribers, man. Check out my Instagram. I will see you in the next one, man. You guys are awesome. I'm out of here.